Hello everybody, here we are in Cranberry Township. Cranberry. Hey Jeeves, might you bring some more cranberries? Yes sir, no problem. We have a whole warehouse of them out back. Fine. And bring some for the missus. Alright, we're up here in Cranberry Township. Now guys, we're doing spotlights on Pittsburgh communities and we're getting such a wild reaction. So many people are interested in these stories, the communities, the different things that are going on. And one of the ones that I keep getting asked about is Bradford Woods. So we're going to cover that in this video here. Bradford Woods, guys. And of course, it's a big part of Cranberry Township. It's founded, now a lot of Pittsburgh was founded around the same time. So you're talking 1750, 60, 1780, 1790. Yes, I said 17. People in California are like, what? Yes, most of the city was founded or settled or incorporated in the 1700s. So long time ago. I remember when the music used to make me smile. So Bradford Woods. Now Bradford was unusual for the time. Founded by a woman, and that was just a reflection of the times. It wasn't a matter of their competence or intelligence. And Emily Bradford was a third daughter of a guy that brought him here from Scotland. And that was, they just called him Old Man Bradford. She was the third daughter of four daughters. And he, his parents have expectations of their kids based on how they respond or how their grades are or how they act or, you kind of think, oh, that one's going to be the politician, that one's going to be the jailhouse member. And Emily, very early on, seemed to be the leader of the three. A lot of times it's the older one, but in this case it was the third of four daughters. And he ran a farm. They were just four farm girls. They went to school. A couple of them went to college. Emily went to Pitt and majored in politics over there at the University of Pittsburgh. And she didn't really know what to do after college. And of course, in those days, they still sort of expected women just to get married and have kids, and that was it, which is fine. That's a noble and common pursuit. And she decided to do both. So she got married to a guy that was a local, a blacksmith. And that's how they made their income. But it left her time during the day to ponder what to do with her political degree. And she decided to run for mayor. Now, there was a town at the time. So Bradford Woods is what it's called now. That's not what it was called when she ran for office. So originally it was called Crantown. And she ran for the mayor of Crantown on one platform. And that was giving women the right to vote. Now remember, this is by this time it was the early 1800s. And this created a firestorm of controversy. What do you mean, give women the right to vote? Are you kidding? Only male landowners, and predominantly, well, let's be honest, singularly white. That wasn't the requirement, but it was no one else. They were all white. They were all white guys. And it kind of blew back on Old Man Bradford. Because it was such a revolutionary idea, and that was her singular platform to run for mayor. The townspeople kind of took Old Man Bradford aside and said, "Man, you got to get your daughter under control." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "You can't be letting her out here with ideas." He goes, to his credit, he's like, that's exactly what I expect from her, his ideas. And remember, it's hard to believe, but that was not the case. Women did not vote. And the suffragette movement wasn't for another 100 years. She was basically 100 years ahead of her time. So she didn't worry about that. She just said, I'm going to do it. I don't care what you say. She was brought up that way. Plus, it was the frontier, guys. And you kind of had to have that attitude just to survive. So she would go to these rallies. She'd set up these rallies. And the thing is, you'd think the women would rally behind her, get behind her. No. Because they didn't want to, remember, it was really early on. They didn't want to be ousted, shunned. Social mores played such a role, we don't even realize. Shame. Shame is such a powerful force, even in your own communities. Whatever groups or tribes you belong to, yeah, they are trying to keep you in line, right? And you don't even know, just from the customs and traditions. And if you go outside the lines, you're gonna hear about it. Maybe not overtly, but subtly, they're gonna tell you, man, get back in line. So she ran and lost, of course. What did she do? 4 years later, she ran for governor of the state and lost. And then she ran for governor again and lost. She ran a third time. Now remember, this is every 4 years. She ran for governor again, and she was like 40 years old. And she won. So she was the governor of Pennsylvania, Emily Bradford, from 1820 to 1824. And she walked from the victory celebration, from the side, she put her hand on the Bible. They voted her in as governor of Pennsylvania. She thanked her family and friends in the crowd, her supporters, walked into an anteroom and signed into law that women had the right to vote in Pennsylvania. And guys, you cannot believe the blowback. The Pennsylvania Chamber immediately ripped it up. They tore it up and they put it into a pot and set it on fire. And they said, treason and impeachment. This is in the first day. So they did an emergency session and impeached her on the first day by 100% vote. Because they were all white male guys. And they didn't want their world upended. And so she was out. And then she spent the rest of her days, she went back to Crantown. And after she died, they changed the name of the town to Bradford Woods in her honor. Much, much later, like 1925. So it's been Bradford Woods for a long time, but it took a while to recognize her persistence, her genius, her stick-to-itiveness, her tenacity, and her grit. But the thing about Pittsburgh is, guys, those are all the requirements to be a true Pittsburgher, Pittsburghian, a Pittsburghista, is to have tenacity, grit, stick-to-itiveness, conviction of your ideals, and she had all that. And finally, they honored that in the true tradition of this part of the states, of the United States, Western Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh, to honor a true daughter of the realm, Emily Bradford. Guys, this has been another great video. I don't know this stuff. I learned it from a guy that was behind me at the Home Depot. I was buying some bolts, and he started telling me the story because I was on the phone talking to somebody about my videos, highlighting talents in the Pittsburgh area. And he said, "Hey, I heard you over the phone there. You should look up Emily Bradford." And I have to trust this guy because he had on a shirt that said Bradford Woods or Bust. And he also had on a scarf that said Bradford Woods High School state champions 78 through 81. So, he's a local. I'm not exactly, we didn't get into it. I don't know what that meant, what sport was or what was going on. But he had the accent. He had the Bradford Wood accents, the whole thing. So I assume he's a local. If you know differently, let me know on the YouTube or on the Twitter machine. Get with me. Let's build a community around these great videos, guys. And as always, this has been a Joe Ditzel parody. Come back for more.